Most people watching this video don't actually want van life. They want a vacation fantasy, and they're looking for a monthly payment that makes it feel affordable. That's not an insult. It's the most important thing I can tell you before you spend $60,000. Because the van industry knows this about you. The YouTube algorithm knows this about you. And both of them are profiting from it in ways you haven't fully thought through yet. So before we talk about specific vans, let's talk about what's actually happening when you watch campervan content, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. The mechanism. Here's how the content funnel works. A creator buys a $180,000 Coachman Galeria, sometimes with a dealer partnership, sometimes not. They make a beautiful tour video. It gets 400,000 views. You watch it, you feel something, you start researching. And this is exactly where the money leaves your pocket. Not at the dealership, right here, in the research phase. Because now your emotional reference point is a $180,000 van. Everything below that starts to feel like a compromise. The $55,000 used Winnebago feels entry-level. The $40,000 Thor feels like settling. You haven't bought anything yet, and your brain has already been anchored to a price point you cannot afford, and in most cases, shouldn't afford. Most people don't lose money on the van they buy. They lose money on the van they were emotionally primed to want. That's the trap. Now let's dismantle it. The $60K reality. Here's the market truth in 2025 stated plainly. There is no worthwhile brand new campervan under $60,000. Zero. The Winnebago Solis Pocket, the cheapest mainstream option, has a minimum advertised price around $80,000 new. Everything above that is $150K to $280K, which sounds like bad news. It isn't. Right now there's a specific used market window, 2020 to 2022 model vans bought at the peak of COVID van life enthusiasm, coming back onto the market as people's lives changed. Modern lithium systems, low miles, recent model years at prices that didn't exist 18 months ago. 3 vans are sitting in that window right now, and one of them is almost certainly yours. But here's the thing. The right van for your life is not the one with the best features. It's the one that matches one specific number about how you actually live. I'll give you that framework at the end. First, the vans. Van 1, Pleasure Way Tofino. Used, $38,000 to $52,000. 18 feet, Ram ProMaster chassis, pop-up roof, Murphy bed, wet bath, induction cooktop, lithium on later models, built by a Canadian company that has been making Class B vans since 1986 and whose owner satisfaction scores are consistently the highest in this category. And this is exactly why people overpay for it and sometimes still get it wrong. Because best built and best for you are not the same sentence. The Tofino stopped production in 2023. That means you are buying used only. And the used market for Pleasureway vans is full of buyers who paid a quality premium, took care of the van, and now are asking near-new prices for a vehicle with 40,000 miles on it. You can find deals, but the seller knows what they have. Here's where the real money decision happens. A clean 2021 Tofino at $47,000 versus a shiny, newer-looking conversion van at $45,000 from a private builder. On paper, similar price. In reality, completely different risk profile. The Tofino has a factory warranty history, a known build standard, and a resale market. The private conversion has none of those things. And if the builder has closed, which many have since 2022, you have no recourse on anything that fails. I've watched this exact decision destroy a retirement trip. A couple, both retired, first van, budget around $48,000, chose the private conversion because it looked newer inside. Beautiful woodwork, great solar setup. They drove it from Denver to Maine. By Vermont, the 12-volt wiring under the floor was showing heat damage from a missized fuse that had been running hot since it left the builder's garage. The repair was $2,200. The root cause took 3 shops to diagnose. They sold the van before they ever made it back to the coast. The Tofino wouldn't have done that. Build standards exist for a reason. Now, the one problem with the Tofino that shows up after year 2 that most buyers never test for during inspection, the pop-up roof seal. If this van sat outside, uncovered for any extended period, that seal develops micro cracks invisible to a casual walkthrough. You won't know until you're parked in the Smokies at 2 a.m. and you wake up wet. Here's the test. Bring a spray bottle. Soak the roof seal while you're standing inside. Wait 3 minutes. Look at the headliner near the pop-up edges for any previous staining. That test costs nothing. It has saved buyers from a $1,500 repair they would have owned on day 1. And if the seller won't let you do a water test, walk away. That is your answer. The second van is the most popular entry-level camper van in America. There's a version of it that's genuinely one of the best deals on the used market right now, and a version that will quietly drain your enjoyment every trip. 2 model years separate them. Here's how to know which one you're looking at. Van 2, Winnebago Solis Pocket 36A. Used $55,000 to $62,000. 17 feet 10 inches, Ram ProMaster, convertible dinette, Murphy Plus bed with gear storage below, swivel front seats, and the thing that actually justifies the price premium over everything else on this list. Winnebago has dealer service locations across the country.
Stop and actually think about what that means. You're 1,200 miles from home. Something electrical stops working. With a Pleasure Way, you're calling mobile techs, checking forums, hoping. With the Winnebago, you drive to the nearest dealer. That's not a small thing when you're 68 years old and this trip is your retirement. The dealer network is not a feature. It is an insurance policy you don't have to buy separately. Now here's what Winnebago doesn't want me to say. Build quality on the Solis Pocket is functional, not exceptional. Compared to Pleasure Way's fit and finish, it's a step down. Owners report more minor electrical issues, more rattles, more small things that need attention in the first year. You're paying for the brand infrastructure in the resale floor, not the craftsmanship. For some buyers, that trade-off is completely correct. For others, it's paying a premium for something they'll never need. Here's the model year trap, and this one is worth writing down. Early 2020 Solis Pocket models came with AGM batteries, not lithium. On paper, the battery capacity numbers look similar. In real-world use, AGM gives you about 40% less usable power for the same stated amp hours. The difference is running your fridge overnight with confidence versus waking up at 6 a.m. checking your battery monitor. 2021 and later, lithium standard. Confirm it in the specs before you make an offer. Takes 30 seconds. Saves you a $3,000 to $5,000 upgrade you shouldn't have to pay on a $58,000 van. This is where retirement plans fail quietly, not with a dramatic breakdown on the highway, with slow erosion. A couple buys a 2020 AGM Solis. Great price, $49,000. First trip out, they're managing power all day. Skip the coffee maker. Don't run the fan overnight. Check the monitor constantly. They're not camping, they're operating a system. Second season, same thing. Third season, the van goes up for sale. The listing says, barely used. It says that because every trip felt like work instead of freedom, and now they tell people they're just not van people. They were van people. They had the wrong battery chemistry. The third van is the one I'm going to catch the most criticism for recommending, because on paper it looks like the budget option, but for one specific buyer profile, and you'll know in 30 seconds if that's you, it is the single most intelligent financial decision on this entire list. Van 3, Thor Motorcoach Rize 18M. Used $35,000 to $45,000. 17 feet, Ram ProMaster, sofa bed, 2-burner stove, mini fridge, power awning, basic solar, no dedicated bathroom, no standing height without the pop top. Now here's the number that changes everything. Most buyers at this budget use their van 20 to 35 nights per year, not full timing, not even close. Weekend trips, a 2-week national park run in the fall, visiting the grandkids across 2 states. If that's you, and be honest with yourself right now, here's what the math says. Solis Pocket at $58,000, 25 nights per year, 10 years, $232 per night before fuel, sites, and maintenance. Rize at $40,000, same usage, $160 per night. That's $1,800 per year in savings, $18,000 over a decade on a camping vehicle. That is a real number. That is not a rounding error on a fixed income. But here's the catch, and I'm not going to soften this. Thor's build quality is inconsistent. The Rize is entry-level, priced like it and built like it. Owners report loose trim, minor electrical issues, fit and finish problems that a good technician handles easily, but that shouldn't exist on a $40,000 purchase. This is not a van you buy blind. An independent pre-purchase inspection, not the selling dealer's tech, an independent RV technician, $150 to $250, 2 hours of their time. It either confirms you're buying a solid van, or it saves you from buying someone else's deferred maintenance. On a Thor Rize, this inspection is not optional, it is the price of admission. The people who regret the Rize bought it hoping it would feel like more than it is. They compromised on the bathroom and the build quality and felt that compromise on every single trip. The toilet issue at 2 a.m. in a campground, the cabinet that rattles on highway expansion joints, small things, constant reminders. The people who love it made a different decision. They looked at their actual calendar, did the actual math, and bought a van that matches their real life, not the van life they imagined on YouTube. Van life on YouTube is 365 days. Your van life might be 25 nights. Buy the van for the life you actually have. Let me say something that's going to make some people in this community uncomfortable. Most people watching campervan content on YouTube do not want van life. They want a vacation fantasy, and they're looking for a monthly payment that makes it feel achievable. And that is exactly what the industry has engineered for them. The $180,000 Coachman Galeria, the $120,000 Airstream Interstate, the $260,000 Gretsch Strada. Beautiful, aspirational, filmed in golden hour light on a cliff in Sedona. Finance a $180,000 van at 9% over 20 years. You will pay it for $320,000. By year 5, it's worth $90,000. You still owe $160,000. You are underwater on a camping vehicle, and you are locked into a lifestyle decision made at peak emotional investment. That is not a van purchase. That is a subscription to a fantasy you can cancel but can't afford to. The channels showing you those vans have manufacturer relationships, dealer partnerships, and affiliate structures that make it very much in their financial interest for you to feel inspired rather than informed. I'm not saying those creators are dishonest. I'm saying the incentive structure means you are not their customer. You are their product. The van you see trending on YouTube is frequently the worst financial decision available in this entire category, and it is shown to you repeatedly, beautifully, until it feels inevitable. Now you know what you're looking at. Decision framework. 3 questions. Answer them before you open a single listing. How many nights per year? Actually. Count last year, not ambition, reality. Under 30? Rize. 30 to 60? Tofino. 60 plus or full timing, Solis Pocket, 2021 and later, lithium confirmed, under 62,000. Non-negotiable bathroom. Yes, Rize is eliminated. Flexible, all 3 earn a look. How far from a service center are you willing to travel? Deep rural, off-grid, remote routes, Tofino with a mobile tech you've already called. Major corridors, state parks, campgrounds, Winnebago's dealer network is your real feature. 10 minutes of honest answers. That's the entire decision. My position stated clearly. The used Way Tofino is the best campervan purchase under $50,000 available right now. Best build, best resale, right-sized. Find a clean 2021 or 2022 model under $48,000, do the roof seal test, and buy it without second-guessing. If you need the dealer network and the peace of mind that comes with it, use 2021-2022 Solis Pocket 36A, lithium confirmed, under $62,000. If your calendar is honest with you and your budget is firm, the Thor Rize does the job. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're settling. You're being more financially intelligent than most people in this conversation. But here's what I need you to hear before you close this video. If you buy the wrong van, wrong model year, wrong battery system, wrong size for your actual calendar, you don't just lose money, you lose confidence, you lose momentum. The trips get shorter, then they stop. The van sits, it goes up for sale, and you start telling people you tried van life, but it just wasn't for you. It was for you. You bought the wrong van. Get this decision right.
The lifestyle you're trying to build depends on it more than you think. One question in the comments, one word only, the thing you will not compromise on. Bed, bathroom, height, solar, size. One word. I read every one.